Big fuel price hikes will come into effect at midnight tonight. Both grades of petrol will increase by R1.21 per litre and diesel by between R1.05 and R1.18 per litre. SABC News specialist researcher Velemseni Mthiyane has been tracking the fuel price and he joins me in studio. Very good afternoon, Veli. Thank you very much for joining us. Now, I understand that you've been looking at the fuel prices, looking at what's been happening on a year-on-year basis, even looking as far back as 5 years ago. Just give us a sense of what your observations are on the fuel price.
Well, firstly, good afternoon to the viewers and good afternoon to you, Nompu. If we look in terms of what has been happening, we can see that the rise in fuel price it has been getting into a problem. If we look into what actually is happening, is that at 6.5%, it's 6.5% increase year on year if we compare last year to this year, which is something about R1.50 increase year on year. But also what is very much interesting, if we may look into the next slide, is if you look into 5 years back in terms of fuel price, the price has increased by R9.63, which is a whopping 65% increase in fuel price, particularly I'm talking about petrol unleaded 95 in the past 5 years. This is a massive increase. This is eating right away into the disposable income of the consumers. We understand that the high cost of living in South Africa is a problem, and this is going to add a headache, particularly for the low-income earners. If we may look into the next slide. Well, of course, in terms of the diesel, we expect it to increase by actually the increase is 4.9% month on month, which is around about R1.06. And again, if we look in terms of the cost, if you were to fill your 40-litre vehicle, you would spend about R42.40, which is equivalent to about 3 loaves of bread. So the price increase of fuel is taking away from the disposable income of those who are earning less, and everybody else is complaining about the high cost of living, and this is playing right into the gallery where it adds more pressure into the consumers. And then if we may look into the next slide in terms of diesel. Of course, this is 2023, and then if we may look into the next one, which gives us a 5-year period, the 2019. If I move from here, it just tells us that even the diesel price has also increased. It was at R14.11 in 2019, R14.11, and now it's above R20 in a 5-year period. And then you can see that this is an increase of highest proportion, and it does really add pressure to the consumers.
So, Veli, I mean, that's a whopping 65%. I wonder how many of us have had a wage increase of that amount in the past couple of years. It's quite massive indeed. But what about the drivers of the fuel price? I mean, we know that to a large extent, the Rand exchange rate is a determining factor, and obviously Brent crude oil as well.
Of course, I've prepared something in terms of looking into the Rand, how it has depreciated from 2019 coming all the way into 2024. And if you look in terms of that, you can see that on the 1st of March in 2019, the dollar-Rand exchange rate was at R14.20. But if we move fast forward to 2024, it is now at R19.10 as from the 1st of March 2024. That's about 34.5% in depreciation of over the period of 5 years. This is massive because the buying power, it means therefore every good that gets imported into South Africa, and then we are using dollar, and it's going to be affected. Similar thing with the Brent crude price. If we may have a look at it, you will see that the price in 2019, the barrel was 65.16 in dollars as from the 8th of March 2019. And if we move fast forward to 2024, 5 years later, it's now at 82.69 dollars on the 1st of March 2024. This is 26.9% increase over the period of 5 years. So it tells us that over the period of 5 years, we have seen the fuel price increasing because the Brent crude price has increased. And the factors that also influence that, we do understand that the OPEC member countries have decided to cut the production. And then also we understand that the risk of geopolitics, the Red Sea crisis and other geopolitical problems have caused the fuel price to go higher. So it's really tough for the consumers in South Africa. The interest rates have not gone down and the fuel price has gone higher. And it's really a crisis. I don't know how people will survive on this.
Yeah, no, it's going to be a tough one. And of course, the reason why the Brent crude oil price is so important is because fuel really is the underpin for economies. It's what fuels economies. And if those increase in prices, it means everything else has to increase in price because the retailers have to make their margins. And at the end of the day, the consumers don't really earn that much. We don't really get that massive increases year in, year out. Those of us who are privileged, of course, to have a job. And then it becomes tighter, as you say, Veli. Thank you so much for giving us a sense of what's been happening with the fuel price and the Rand exchange rate. My colleague there, Velemseni Mthiyane.